Hi, this is Mr. Crowley, and today we are going to look at Kahoot and how it can benefit your students. Kahoot is a great interactive game to go over wrote, I should say, information. I've used it mostly for literary terms, grammar, quick questions, um, anything with definite answers. As an English teacher, I know we do a lot of open-ended stuff, but Kahoot's a great way to do those close-ended questions that have definitive answers. And the kids seem to enjoy it because there's a competition involved, and they get to use their phones in class, which they love because we're always telling them to put it away. But the point here is I want to show you how to create a Kahoot. It's pretty quick to input the quiz you want to do, and I'll show you how to log your students on so they can play along. And it's a great way to see if the kids have the information you need in a quick, fun, checking way. So please go to getkahoot.com, which is the screen you've been looking at. I've actually already signed in. The account's free. It really is quick. They don't ask for loads and loads of info. They really just want you to start working and helping your students. So I've already signed in here. That's why it popped in. I didn't have to do my password or anything. And then up here, you're going to see, if you're new to Kahoot, it'll walk you through it. If you've made any right here, you can search for public Kahoots, but then you're going off somebody else's material, and I'd rather take the time to cater my Kahoots to my students. This was a lit term review, as I was talking about, that we had tried and the students really liked. But I want to kind of create one with you right now, so we're not going to look at that right off the bat. So to create a new one, you click here. I'm going to do a quiz. I'm a big fan of that. I'm going to call it The Great Gatsby because that's what we're working on now. So it's sort of what's already in my head. After you give it a name, you start putting in the questions. If you notice over here, it says you only have 95 characters, which makes you very specific in your questions, but can get tedious because it counts periods and question marks. So if you're really good at Twitter, this won't bug you. You can also do points per question. Time limit, most people give 30 seconds. You can change it if you'd like. I wouldn't do 5 seconds or 10 because the students' cell phones, when we get to that part, sometimes have a lag depending on your school's Wi-Fi. So I would suggest leaving it at 30 seconds at least. First question, who is Nick Carraway? Simple, basic. I hope I spelled Carraway right. And then you input as many answers as you want. Narrator, obviously, if you know the book, you know that's going to be the right answer. The rich guy, the poor guy, whoops, poor guy, the dead guy. And then you just tell it which one is the correct answer. If you notice, you can have multiple corrects. Obviously, this question does not have that, but you can do that. Drag and drop image. If you want to add an image to your screen, which the students pretty much like. You can, let me show you real quick how to get that. Great Gatsby. Just borrow some pictures. You're going to get a lot of Leo right now. So we'll just use this. And as you see, you can just drag your clip in. It'll process it. And then you click Next Question, which went Add Question down here in the corner. A second question, who shoots Gatsby? Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't read it. Nick, we'll do Tom, George, Daisy. And obviously it's George. And again, we'll just grab a picture here. Death. You want to vary your pictures to keep the students enthralled. And here we have Gatsby dead in the pool. That'll work perfect. Pop it here. Add question. I'll just do one more real quick. Let's see, who is Tom? And we can say Daisy's husband. Nick's cousin. Nick's roommate. Whoops, 2 M's in roommate. God bless spell check. And we'll just do 3 because this is actually a really easy one. And at the end we hit save and continue. Ooh, I forgot to put a picture for who is Tom. If you do that, you can always click back on it. Over here, where is it? Questions. 1 second. Why isn't it letting me click on here? It's not letting edit questions. I apologize. It's down in the corner. I kind of don't like that everything's at the bottom. I'm so used to having controls at the top, but we'll deal. We'll skip to question 3. We'll go get a picture of Tom. Real quick. There he is. Looking like, you know, the holier than thou art cheater that he is. Now we'll save and continue. Save and continue. You can decide whether the public can look at it or not. I usually leave that. Audience is school. Description, The Great Gatsby. You know, nothing too daring in the title here. And we hit continue. And then if we want a cover image, again, all we need is a Great Gatsby. Probably the poster would be nice. Or the book. Yeah, the book jacket would be nice. Change it up, get away from the movie for a second. Drop that in. Done. And now we can play. This is what your kids are going to do. They're going to take out their phones and go to Kahoot.it and watch what happens. After I hit launch, it's going to pop up here. Your students are going to go to Kahoot. apologize for that and forgot about the music. We usually turn it down because it's kind of dorkish. But anyway, have your kids take their phones out. Go to kahoot.it. And up here, you're going to see a game pin. And that's what your students are going to put in their phone once it asks for the game pin. So here we have 854421. Your kids will hit enter. It'll ask them to pick a nickname. Obviously, you're going to want to remind them to make it school appropriate because it will pop up on the screen just like that. Click start now, and it's going to start it in a few seconds. The music sounds like this, sort of like a Jeopardy type thing. On the students' phones will be these 4 colors with the symbols. Your students will just tap which answer they'd like to put. Once all questions are in or the time has run out, you will see who got it right, who picked different answers, and then you hit next, and your students will get to see who's on the leaderboard. Obviously, the quicker you answer, the closer to 1,000 points you can get. If you're right, if it takes you longer, you get less points. This is where the competitive part shows up, and the students love that. And then you just go through the game. We'll do it really quick here. George shoots Gatsby, thinking that Gatsby ran over his wife. Obviously mistaken. Daisy was driving. Tom is Daisy's husband. Nick is actually Daisy's cousin. So that's that. And at the end, it will show you the winner, feedback and results. Your students will get a chance to rate the game, if they learned, if they recommend it, and hopefully you get all glowing reviews. Final results will tell you who did the best, who the top 5 were, and the students really get involved because humans are very, very competitive. But that's really Kahoot. That's it. Quick, easy, gets the students involved, and what more can you ask for? All right? And like I did, I would suggest turning the volume down because, I don't know, their music is no fun. I'd rather put on the soundtrack to the movie from The Great Gatsby. But that's just how I roll. So have fun with Kahoot, play around with it, and have a good night. Bye.